Welcome back here to Eddie Matthews Field here in Santa Barbara. Apologize for the technical issues. We got the stream off going a little late, and obviously we had some issues with the audio in the top of the first inning. But we're here in a scoreless ball game. Here's what you missed. E.J. Royal led off for San Luis Obispo. He struck out swinging. Then it was Max Lane with a deep fly ball to center field. That was some loud contact there. Jariah Lewis then walked and stole second base, but he was eventually stranded after Cooper Witten popped up in the 4 spot doing the designated hitting from Washington. So now it's the bottom of the first. Santa Barbara Foresters hitting now, bouncing ball to second base. Easy play from Ardois to retire the leadoff batter, and Drew Markle, who's playing center field for the Foresters today. So 1 pitch, 1 out here for John Damazonio, who's getting the nod for San Luis Obispo. And here's the batting order for the Santa Barbara Foresters. Obviously, Drew Markle led off just now. D. Kennedy makes the jump up from the 9-hole last time the Foresters played San Luis Obispo. Addison Klepsch is batting third. Dominic Smaldino in the 4-hole. Will Rogers batting fifth. Ryan Taman 6th. TJ Pompey 7th. Jacob Nose 8th. And Jackson Freeman batting 9th. So there's strike one to D. Kennedy, the 2-hitter for Santa Barbara, also playing second base today for the Foresters. Damazonio jerks and comes set. The right-hander from St. Mary's size, kicks and fires, comes home. Kennedy pops this one up out of play and into the street. So here's the defensive alignment for San Luis Obispo. Behind the dish, it's Parker Goff. At first, it's Brendan Comerford. At second, it's Sam Ardois. At third, it's Sebastian Lopez. Braden Mondu playing short. Max Lane in left. E.J. Royal in center. And Jariah Lewis playing right field. 0-2. Chop down the third base line. It will stay foul. Staying in line with 2 strikes is D. Kennedy, who last time he faced San Luis Obispo in that Saturday game at Sinsheimer, he went 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. But he had an impressive display of his speed, as we talked about in last game. A 6'3", 60-yard dash. That's just lightning fast as Damazonio falls off the mound, and there's strike 3. So D. Kennedy strikes out looking as John Damazonio was falling off the mound. Whatever gets it done, I guess. So the first 2 batters for Santa Barbara are retired after a ground out to second base in Ardois and a stumbling strikeout from John Damazonio. So now it's Addison Klepsch, the third baseman committed to Auburn and San Diego native. Missing upstairs for ball 1 is Damazonio. Two outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Damazonio with a deep sigh, kicks and fires with his red glove. Here's a ground ball to the right side. Diving is Comerford, gets up on it, and he retires. Addison Klepsch on the nice flip over to Damazonio. Excellent play at first base from Brandon Comerford, and the side is retired. Scoreless heading into the top of the second inning on the Slow Blues streaming network. Middle of the order here for the Blues in the the top of the second inning down here at Santa Barbara at Eddie Matthews Field. It's a scoreless affair. Santa Barbara Foresters just went 1-2-3 off a grounder to second base. A strikeout looking from D. Kennedy as the starter for St. Louis Obispo, John Damazonio, fell off the mound. And then a nice play from Comerford at first base to retire the three-hitter Addison Klepsch. And leading off for San Luis Obispo, it's Braden Mondu. He fouls a fastball straight back for strike one. Mondu, the player of the game, if you will, in their loss against Santa Barbara on Saturday. Went 2 for 4 with a double, a base knock, and reached on error. A shortstop from BYU who entered the transfer portal last Monday. And he shows up to today's game with a brand new piece of lumber. Nice orange bat over the right shoulder as he squibs this one right behind home plate for strike two. Mondu taps home plate, points it towards the pitcher in Victor Ariola, who shrugs and comes from the windup. Breaking ball missing downstairs. Good leave from Braden Mondu. One-two to the shortstop from San Luis Obispo, and an Arizona native. As Ariola comes from the windup, and the fastball misses upstairs. Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mondu didn't get the start in last game against the Santa Maria Indians. He had an off day against the Indians, but now he's returning here against the Santa Barbara Foresters for some CCL action. Breaking ball, good lead from Mondu to leave it in the dirt and move the count up to 3-2. Leadoff hitter and a 5-pitch at bat right now. Number 6 coming up very soon. Facing Victor Ariola and the Santa Barbara Foresters in Game 2 of CCL play. Fastball blew it right by Mondu for strike 3. So there's the first out of the inning. It's a strikeout to Braden Mondu. And now that gives way to Brendan Comerford, who's coming off an excellent play over at first base. Comerford has primarily been playing third for San Luis Obispo, but last few games, ever since Chris Johnson left and before Zach Tollerman arrived to the scene, Comerford moved over to first base, but he pops this fastball up. Moving to his right is Smaldino. He calls everyone off, and he squeezes it for the second out of the inning. So Brendan Comerford pops out to the first baseman in Smaldino, and there's 2 away. 2 quick outs for Victor Ariola as Mondu goes down swinging and Comerford pops out. So now it's Parker Goff, a 7-hitter from BYU, doing the catching tonight. Last game he appeared in, it was Game 1 against the Santa Maria Indians on Friday. Fastball missing way upstairs for ball 1. And in that game against the Indians, he was 1 for 4 with a walk, and he scored a run. Here comes Ariola. Fastball low in the zone, and he serves it out to right field, dropping quickly, and it falls for a base hit. There's the first knock of the day for San Luis Obispo, and it comes with 2 outs off the bat of Parker Goff. Nice job by Goff there. Didn't have to be the prettiest swing to get it done. He hit it off the end of the bat as well. But it just keeps the line moving and prevents another 1-2-3 inning for the Blues. So now a runner on first, and now the 8-hole hitter, Sebastian Lopez, who's starting at third base today for San Luis Obispo, as Parker Goff gets a very small lead over at first base. Ariola, long hold, now comes home. Fastball right over the barrel of Lopez for strike 1. Sam Ardois waits on deck, tonight's second baseman for San Luis Obispo, batting in the 9-hole. As Ariola dangles his arm, takes a look at first, picks over the first, and it's not in time to get Goff. Beautiful afternoon here in Santa Barbara, 75 degrees and sunny. Although the fog is starting to roll in from the coastal winds, and the temperatures are beginning to drop at what is a very scenic ballpark at Santa Barbara High School. Ariola, wicked breaking ball, swing and miss for strike 2. So now Lopez having to battle with 2 strikes here as his golden oven mitt shines out of his back left pocket. And Goff gets another short lead at first base. Arriola comes home. Fastball up and away for ball one. That's a good job and a good lead from Sebastian Lopez to take a look at that fastball all the way with 2 strikes. A very enticing pitch that looks like it's in the zone for a long time, and it just rises away. Throw to first, not in time to get Parker Goff. Arriola, quick delivery. Fastball taken for strike 3. Sebastian Lopez gets caught looking, and Parker Goff is stranded at first base after the first hit of the game for San Luis Obispo. We'll head to the bottom of the second, scoreless on the SLO Blues streaming network.
If you're looking for something to eat, it's open now. Hot dogs, tacos.
Middle of the order for the Santa Barbara Foresters as we enter the bottom of the second inning. And John Damazonio heads back out there, the flamethrower, and Gale from St. Mary's College of California. He'll face Dominic Smaldino, the first baseman from Cal Berkeley. After that, it's Will Rogers, the DH, and then Ryan Taman, the catcher. Damazonio misses just outside on the fastball for ball one. Smaldino from Cal Berkeley and a native of San Juan Capistrano, California. Blows the fastball right by him for strike one. A rising sophomore with the Golden Bears who just wrapped up a season where he started 11 games, had 39 at-bats, and a .487 slugging with that .256 average. So some serious power numbers from the big right-hander from down south. Fastball in there for strike two. Good pitch sequencing from Damazonio as he clips the bottom half of the zone. And down quickly on 2 strikes is Smaldino. Smaldino out of high school is also the 6th-ranked first baseman in the state of California, according to Perfect Game. And here he is on 1-2, and he fists this one foul and out of play. Those power numbers, that .487 slugging that I just mentioned, include 3 home runs off of 10 hits. Banging it out there in Berkeley. Damazonio, breaking ball, over to short, easy play for Mondu, over to first, plenty of time to retire Smaldino for out number 1. He had Smaldino guessing on that curveball, had a lot of bite to it, and Smaldino caught it off the end of the bat, and it was a slow roller over to Mondu, and he could just throw it over to first for the first out of the inning. So a routine ground ball as Will Rogers, the DH from Michigan, digs in his second year as a Forester. Will Rogers wasn't always a Wolverine. He spent his first 2 years in college in Tempe at Arizona State, playing for Tracy Smith and Ben Greenspan. But when they both left for Ann Arbor, Rogers followed them as he takes a look at the fastball upstairs for ball one. Primarily a catcher at Arizona State, he also did some pitching, only pitched 7 innings his time as a Sun Devil. But with those offensive woes, he thought he'd take on pitching. And pitching he did in Michigan as he fouls this one straight back for strike one. So as a Wolverine, he has a 5.94 ERA in 53 innings pitched. He accompanies that with 42 strikeouts and 22 walks. Getting more pitching action than he ever saw at Arizona State, trying out something new. And he did pitch against San Luis Obispo last time these two teams faced. 1-1, laid on it again and fouled just over the Santa Barbara Foresters dugout for strike two. So just like Smaldino, Will Rogers now chases a 1-2 count against John Damazonio, who's waiting for him on the mound. Damazonio shakes off Goff, now comes set. Here he is on the 1-2. Fastball clipping the bottom of the zone for strike three. There's the second K of the day for John Damazonio, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the second.
Please welcome the catcher, number 17, Ryan.
And man, Damazonio is just looking really sharp right now. The fastball is hitting it where he wants it to. The breaking ball is looking really sharp. It's going to be a tough day for both of these hitters, honestly. So now with 2 outs, it's Ryan Taman, the former Blue. We saw minimal action with San Luis Obispo last year before heading to Cal Berkeley as this one pops out of the glove of Goff for ball one. Taman, a native of Grover Beach, a graduate of Arroyo Grande High School, and like his teammate Smaldino, just wrapped up a season at Berkeley. Damazonio kicks and fires. Squibs this one right off of his foot. And we'll do it here at 1 ball and 1 strike. So in his first year up at Berkeley, Taman had 67 at-bats, .254 average, 11 runs batted in. 17 hits, 6 home runs, and 2 doubles. Missing downstairs for ball 2 is Damazonio. No on. 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning, a scoreless ball game between the CCL matchup of the SLO Blues and the Santa Barbara Foresters. Here's the 2-1 to Taman. Fastball in there for strike 2. Third batter in a row where Damazonio has reached 2 strikes on the opposing batter. And this time it's Ryan Taman who tries to keep this inning alive. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for strike 3. Second K of the inning, third out of the inning, and third K of the day for John Damazonio, who's looking real nice right now. Still scoreless heading into the top of the third inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom of the third inning, and it's 9-1-2 for the San Luis Obispo Blues after they stranded Parker Goff at first base after leading or getting the first base hit of the day for either ball club. It's Sam Ardois batting ninth and playing second for San Luis Obispo. And he takes a look at strike one. Ardois, just a kid from Louisiana, making a long trip out to San Luis Obispo to spend his summer with the Blues. The 0-1 is in there for strike two. So down quickly, no balls and 2 strikes as Sam Ardois. Louisiana kid from Moss Bluff, Louisiana, spent last season with the Texas. He was 0 for 4 with 2 walks, a strikeout, and 2 RBI as the fastball misses low and away for ball 1. And some breaking news on Sam Ardois. This morning, he committed to the University of Oregon. So next season, he will be a Duck up there in Eugene. 1-2, dribbled up the middle. Pompey moving to his left. Throw over to first is in time to retire Ardois for the first out of the inning. So a slow roller over to the Texas Tech shortstop in Pompey gets the first out of the inning. So now it's E.J. Royal who struck out swinging to lead off this game. Gets a second opportunity here against Victor Arreola, the Bulldog from Fresno State. First pitch is sent to right field, dropping fast and falling in front of Freeman for the second base hit of the day. Nice job by E.J. Royal. Getting that knock and some soft contact, but any contact will do for San Luis Obispo as they got a crooked number in the hit column. E.J. Royal struggled against the Santa Barbara Foresters pitching last time they played on Saturday. He was 0 for 3 with a strikeout against SB. And he comes through with a base hit, one of the hottest hitters for the Blues, as he retreats back to first base safely on a pickoff move from Arreola. He's been a mainstay in that leadoff spot for San Luis Obispo, and he's given Dean Traynor absolutely no reason to exit it. He gets a sizable lead at first as Max Lane digs in. Pick over to first is not in time. Lane had some loud contact of his own as he flew out to center field last time he was up and recorded the second out of the first inning. The Brainiac from Harvard awaits Arreola's offering. Here it comes. This one sent into right center, hit very well. Giving chase on it is the right fielder Freeman. It's going to drop over his head. Coming around third is E.J. Royal, and rounding second is Lane. Here's the throw home, and not in time. E.J. Royal evades the tag from an RBI triple from Max Lane. There's some loud contact there from Lane in the right center gap. Freeman and Markle were running full speed. They had to put their heads down, and they just couldn't get to it. The speed from E.J. Royal beat the throw from center field, and the Blues strike first here in the top of the third inning. So now it's Jariah Lewis. He had a hard-hit triple of his own in his Blues debut. And he sends this one back into the screen for strike one. That's a huge moment for the Blues offense that struggled to hit against Santa Barbara last time they played. That was the first game they got shut out all season. A 2-0 loss to the Foresters. And now they already have one run here in the top of the third. Lewis dodges the fastball for ball one. E.J. Royal came around to score on the Max Lane triple just now. It's a 1-0 game in favor of San Luis Obispo with one out in the top of the third inning. And Jariah Lewis, the left-handed hitter from San Jose State, swings and misses over the fastball for strike two. Tough with two now, the former USC Trojan and current Spartan. Here's Lewis on the 1-2. Skipping in the dirt, taken for ball two. They'll even it up. Lewis's last season with San Jose State this current season, 15 hits and 78 at-bats, and 4 runs batted in. in there. It's 3 doubles and 1 home run. And he's here with a runner on third, 1 away, and a 2-2 count. Lewis takes a look at strike 3. Breaking ball, and he knew it right away. He shook his head as he strolls back to the dugout for the second out of the inning. So now it's Cooper Witten here with 2 outs and a runner on third base. The DH from Washington, who went 0 for 3 the last time he played a game against the Foresters on Saturday. 2 strikeouts and a walk, and in his last at-bat, he popped out to short. And he takes a look at the fastball for ball 1. Witten, a San Diego kid and graduate from Santa Fe Christian, the Eagles. Rising junior up there in Seattle. Swing and miss for strike 1. Some off-speed stuff in the dirt, and Cooper Witten went fishing after it from Arriola. Entering his junior season at Washington, he hit .213 for the Huskies last year and 122 at-bats. And he watches the warm burner for ball 2. And those 26 hits, 22 runs batted in, 5 home runs into Lake Union, and 1 double. Now here, 2 balls, 1 strike against Victor Arriola. Here it is, blows the fastball by him for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at third base. A 1-0 lead for the SLO Blues off an RBI triple from Max Lane. Sam Ardois led off this inning, grounded to short for the first out, and Dry Lewis just struck out looking for the second out. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball taken from Witten, and that'll fill up the count. Really good leave right there from Cooper. And that curveball started in the zone and broke out of it, designed for the bat of Witten to go fishing after it. He did a nice job holding up on it. The red saber in his right hand. He waggles it behind his head, and the fastball just missing low for ball 4. So another base runner for the Blues as Cooper Witten gets lucky on that call and is awarded first base on the base on balls. So now it's Mondu, who struck out swinging to lead off the second inning. He's got a chance here to add on some more runs with runners at the corners and 2 away. Mondu having a sneaky good season right now for San Luis Obispo. He's been solidified in the middle of the order for the Blues, and he's there again today as he swings and misses for strike 1. Recently entered the transfer portal after redshirting at BYU, but before that, spent 2 years at Pima Community College in Arizona, where he's from, and a career .258 average as he holds up on his swing for strike 2. And a .258 average, a .357 on base. Drove home 41 runs on 63 hits. Also won the 2023 ACCAC Regional Championships. His favorite college memory. Witten with a pretty large lead over there at first, as the slider misses away for ball 1. I think the Blues early on have shown really good signs of leaving that out pitch out of the zone. They're not going after the breaking stuff or the fastball up at the eyes. Some very enticing pitches for hitters that are down 2 strikes. They've had really good discipline in these first 3 innings. Bouncing ball to shortstop, and Pompey will take it himself, but the Blues strike first. An RBI triple from Max Lane gives San Luis Obispo the 1-0 advantage. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom three here at Eddie Matthews Field in Santa Barbara for the SLO Blues' second CCL contest of the season. And it's against the Santa Barbara Foresters, also the Blues' first away game of the season. It's a part of a 5-game road trip that San Luis Obispo has this week and going into the weekend. And they have a 1-0 lead over SB. John Damazonio heads back out there for his third inning of work, and he misses the fastball upstairs to TJ Pompey. Swing and missing for strike one is Pompey. So the Forester shortstop has quite the resume after an impressive first year at Texas Tech. 279 average, of 516 slugging as he hits this one hard down the left field line and gets past Sebastian Lopez. Rounding first and heading into second base with ease is TJ Pompey with a leadoff double.
That double brought to you by Gold's Gym of Santa Barbara and Goleta Gold's Gym.
That one was just smoked, and I was just talking about the slugging numbers of TJ Pompey, and you guys just saw it right there, folks. Just an absolutely touch ball down the left field line, and it was hard hit enough to get past the diving attempt from Sebastian Lopez. So a leadoff base runner in scoring position for the Santa Barbara Foresters as they look to have an answer for the Blues here in the bottom of the third. So the man to do it here is Jacob Nose, the left fielder, batting eighth for Santa Barbara. As Damazonio is working with his first base runner of the day after the first hit for Santa Barbara off the bat from TJ Pompey. And there's strike one to Jacob Nose. Nose, an outfielder from Modesto College, a native of Ripon, California, a rising sophomore with the Pirates. Fastball missing upstairs for ball one. In Nose's first year at Modesto College, 164 at-bats, 3 bombs, 9 doubles, and a triple, and 50 hits. Swing and miss for strike two. Wicked breaker from Damazonio. Nose was originally committed to play for Masters University. In a family affair, he has a lineage of people who played for that school as well. But then he eventually ended up playing at Modesto. Fastball missing inside for ball two. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jacob Nose, the left fielder from Santa Barbara. NorCal kid spending his summer on the Central Coast in Santa Barbara on a beautiful afternoon in SB. Breakers skipping in the dirt. Nice lead from Nose, and that fills up the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Good hold up from Nose to leave those breaking pitches. Lots of movement, very sharp movement from Damazonio. As he sighs, comes home, and the fastball nearly clips him in the knees, but he dodges out of it for ball 4. Back-to-back base runners for the Foresters, and now the 9-hitter, and Jackson Freeman digs in for SB.
Please welcome right fielder number 13, Jackson Freeman.
So Freeman here, with no one out, runners on first and second, steps into the left-handed batter's box to face Damazonio. Freeman is an outfielder and a rising sophomore at Northwestern, native of Ladera Ranch, California. As he takes a look at strike one. And if it wasn't clear, looking at him in the batter's box, the kid goes to Northwestern. He's got the purple helmet on, the purple shin guard, the purple elbow sleeve. He's rocking and representing the Wildcats well here in Santa Barbara. Pitch has popped up, towering down the right field line. Moving to his right is Lewis. Tagging at second base is Pompey, but he fakes it. Lewis, nice one hop over to the third, but there's the second out of the inning, or the first out of the inning from the Jackson Freeman pop out to right field. So Damazonio gets some soft contact after allowing the first 2 batters of the inning on base. One of them, the first hit of the game from TJ Pompey, and we'll flip it to the top of the order. And Drew Markle, who grounded over to Ardois at second base for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. Markle was 1 for 4 and struck out and came around to score one of the 2 runs in their win against San Luis Obispo on Friday. as he swings and misses at the fastball for strike one. Markle batted second last time they played the Blues, and he's here batting leadoff. The fourth-ranked shortstop out of the state of Texas in high school, the 240th in the nation. As a native from Katy, Texas, and an Ole Miss Rebel. Breaking ball missing outside for ball one from Damazonio. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 runners on, 1-0 lead for San Luis Obispo. Markle saw limited action in his time as a Rebel. His first season last year in 17 games played, only had 10 at-bats and 1 hit. Fastball missing down low, 2 balls and 1 strike to the Texas native Drew Markle. Came around to score 3 times. He had 2 walks and 1 strikeout, 1 stolen base in that time as well. But certainly lit up the baseball diamond in high school with those rankings. Long hold from Damazonio. He comes home. Fastball is chopped high in the infield. Mondu has to play it on a tough hop. Throw over to first is just in time to retire Markle for the second out of the inning. Good stretch there from Brendan Comerford as Mondu tried to get that one off in a hurry. And both runners move up for the Foresters. Now it's second and third from the 6-3 ground out from Drew Markle. So now D. Kennedy, the second baseman for Santa Barbara with that blazing speed, dings in now with an RBI situation here, trailing 1 in the top of the third. And he takes a look at strike 1. D. Kennedy, an infielder from Texas, a Lone Star State native from Fort Worth, a rising sophomore with the Longhorns, was an all-state infielder at Prestonwood Christian High School. This one sent in the air, right side. Coming in on it is Lewis. Easy play for him. He taps the glove on his thigh, and Damazonio strands 2 runners on after a leadoff double from T.J. Pompey. Still a 1-0 ball game in favor of San Luis Obispo. We'll head back to the top of the 4th inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top of the 4th, and now would be a good time to remind you that Richardson is the official hat of the CCL. Both teams playing in tonight's contest are wearing Richardson caps and will be doing so for the entirety of this season. 1-0 ball game. Blues lead over the Santa Barbara Foresters. Got shaky there for a second after a leadoff double from T.J. Pompey and then a walk from Jacob Nose. They eventually advanced to second and third off a grounder from Drew Markle, the leadoff hitter. But then they were stranded after D. Kennedy popped out. So Damazonio keeping it scoreless here for the Foresters as Brendan Comerford takes a look at strike 2. Top 4 here for Brendan Comerford, who popped out to first last time he was up, and he swings and misses at the slider for strike 3. Brendan Comerford goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning off a nice slider from Victor Arreola. So now it's Parker Goff, the Utah native, who singled in his first time up, got the first hit of the game for either side. He was left at first base after Sebastian Lopez got out, and he whiffs at the fastball up at his eyes for strike 1. Victor Arriola heads back out there for his 4th inning of work for Santa Barbara. San Diego native, now Fresno State Bulldog. Another fastball taken for a strike. Quickly down 0-2 is Parker Goff. Arriola from the windup takes a deep breath, blows it off his face, and the fastball missing way upstairs for ball 1. Arriola 2 seasons ago was academic All-Mountain West and was 2023 Mountain West Scholar Athlete list. The year before that, he was Mountain West Scholar Athlete as well. As fishing after the fastball for strike 3 is Parker Goff. Back-to-back Ks here for Arriola in the top of the 4th inning. That'll give way now to Sebastian Lopez, the 3rd baseman from Henderson, Nevada. Lopez, a Red Hawk from Seattle University. In his 2nd start with the Blues, swings and misses at the breaking ball for strike 1. Lopez redshirted his sophomore year with Seattle as he looks at that fastball for strike 2. But in his freshman season, he played in 16 games, had 14 at-bats. 2 hits in that time, one of them being a double, an RBI double. Swinging and missing for strike 3. 3 up, 3 down for Victor Arriola as he strolls into the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-0 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. Three, 4, 5 for Santa Barbara as it's still a 1-0 ball game here at Eddie Matthews Field down in SB in the Blues' first away game of the season and game 1 of a 5-game road trip for San Luis Obispo this week and going into this weekend. John Damazonio heads back out there for his 4th inning of work. And he comes home to Addison Klepsch for ball 1. Klepsch, a future Auburn War Eagle, as he swings and misses for strike 2. He wears the Ocean Mint shoes with the red shin guard and the red oven mitt in his back pocket. San Diego native from Forest Ranch and graduate of Del Norte High School. Breaking ball just missing outside for ball 1. Klepsch, a 9.5 grade on perfect game. He's a speedster with a 6'7", 160 and a 94 mile per hour infield velocity, as that's in there for strike 2. Klepsch today batting 3rd for the Foresters. San Luis Obispo didn't see him when they played at Sinsheimer, but here he is now against Damazonio as the breaking ball is tipped right into Goff's glove for strike 3. 4th K for John Damazonio, and the first out of this inning. So now the first baseman from Cal Berkeley, it's Dominic Smaldino. He grounded to Mondu at shortstop last time he was up for the first out of the second inning. Smaldino, last time he played against the Blues, he was 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch, a walk, a stolen base, but was caught stealing twice. Fastball missing low for ball one. Smaldino, graduate of Junipero Serra High School down in San Juan Capistrano, who was a three-time letter winner for the Lions, and he led the team to back-to-back CIF Southern Section Division I championships. Fastball by him for strike one. In his senior year, he was first team All Division I, All CIF Southern Section, and first team All Orange County for the Lions. It's good enough to earn him a spot with the Golden Bears. We had 3 home runs as this one's hit sharply the left side. That's through for a base hit. Rounding first, and he'll hold up there, is Dominic Smaldino with a one-out single.
Now batting, sponsored by D and Von Witt.
Runner on first now for John Damazonio. That's the third base runner he's had to work with today here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Off a hard hit single through the 5-5 hole from Dominic Smaldino. Smaldino had no stolen bags. He wasn't caught stealing either at Berkeley this past season, as he has a medium-sized lead over there at first base. And Damazonio faces Will Rogers, the DH from Michigan. Fisted, right side, Jariah Lewis takes a few steps in, makes the easy grab for the first out of the inning. So fly ball to right for the first out of the inning off the bat of Will Rogers, who struck out swinging his first time up. He's now 0 for 2 on the day. Now it's Ryan Taman digging in for his second time. Taman, last time he played the Blues, was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. And he struck out his first time up today. Here's strike one to him on the fastball. Taman, a catcher who had 11 at-bats with San Luis Obispo last year. 2 hits in those 11 ABs. One of them was a double. Strung together 3 walks and a strikeout as well. Nice curveball, and gets the sword on Taman for strike 2. He was SLO County Player of the Year in his senior season in 2023. And he was Cal High Sports First Team All-States that same year. Damazonio jitters, comes set, holds for a long time. Now comes home, another breaking ball. Did he go? Yes, he did. There's strike 3 to Ryan Taman, and that will retire the side. 2 strikeouts for Damazonio in this inning. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. SLO Blues up 1-0 over the Santa Barbara Foresters on the SLO Blues streaming network. 9-1-2 in the top of the fifth inning, as now would be a good time to remind you that this half inning is brought to you by Plan Perfect Retirement. Be sure to contact Sherry Tollerman at planperfectretirement.com. Plan Perfect, corporate retirement plan specialists. Sam Ardois leads off for San Luis Obispo after grounding out to short last time he was up. And the now Oregon Duck takes a look at ball one. Bit of some breaking news here. Just this morning, Ardois committed to the University of Oregon before stepping on the bus to head down to Santa Barbara. Former Texas shortstop now will be making the trip cross country to the West Coast. And now he's here in a 1-1 count against a new pitcher. Chop foul into the Blues dugout for strike two. New arm as Victor Arriola's day has come to an end. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Those 7 Ks are impressive, as well as those 3 hits, but that 1 run did come across, and neither side has been active since. Ardois takes a look at the fastball upstairs for ball 2. So now in to replace Arriola, it's Shea Went, right-handed pitcher from Creighton, rising sophomore in Nebraska. Breaking ball swinging and missing for strike 3. Fooled Ardois on the breaking stuff, and it was nasty, folks. Ardois goes down on strikes, and it's the first out of the inning for San Luis Obispo. Top of the order now, it's E.J. Royal. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Had a bloop single in his second at-bat in the third. Came around to score on that RBI triple from Max Lane. But before that, he struck out swinging to start the game. There's a fastball missing downstairs for ball 1. More on Shea Went, a Blair, Nebraska native. He didn't play his first season as a Blue Jay at Creighton. He enters his sophomore year this upcoming season. As Royal takes a look at strike 1. Shea was a 2-time All-State selection by the Lincoln Journal-Star after both his junior and senior seasons. As bouncing this one to short is Royal, making the play is Pompey. The throw is offline. So E.J. Royal gets the infield single after a high bouncing ball to the Texas Tech shortstop, T.J. Pompey. Royal's now 2 for 3 on the day. Went also earned all Nebraska honors from the Omaha World Herald following the 2023 season. That's his senior year. As it's now Max Lane who's 1 for 2. And the third hit of the game as the throw to first is not in time. Lane, a brainiac from Harvard, tripled in the third inning and brought across the only run this game has seen. Fastball in the inside corner for strike 1. Went clipping the inside part of the zone to Max Lane, who was 0 for 3 with a strikeout and reach on error twice when he played against the Santa Maria Indians on Sunday. Picked to first, not in time. Lane only had 3 ABs, and then Bryson Hoyer came in to hit for him, a pinch hit in the 5th, and that's where he stayed. Had 4 plate appearances after that. But Lane with a hard hit triple last time he was up, and he looks at the breaker down in the zone for ball 1. 1-0 Blues, a runner on first off an E.J. Royal infield hit. Soft hit chopper to Pompey, couldn't get the throw off in time. Max Lane chops this one in the on-deck circle for strike 2. No outs, 1-0 lead for San Luis Obispo. Lane, a native of Newport Beach, a rising junior with the Crimson. Graduated valedictorian in high school. Throw to first, not in time to get Royal. In high school, he was also second team All-Sunset League in football. Helped the football team win a 2019 CIF and state titles in D3. Here's the pitch. Missing low and away for ball 2 on Max Lane. Good lead from Lane there, as that's a similar pitch he saw on his double. Went the other way with it. Very loud barrel. and he left that one that was just too far out the zone. Royal with a big lead over at first. Now he takes off. Skipping in the dirt. Throw is way over the head of the second baseman, Kennedy, but E.J. Royal will stay at second base with the stolen bag. E.J. Royal got a real nice jump off the delivery from Wendt, and then the throw from Taman just sailed over the head of D. Kennedy for an easy stolen bag for Royal. So now a runner in scoring position again for Max Lane. Has an opportunity here to tack on another insurance run for the Blues. 2 looks over to second. Now the throw home, pop foul out of play, staying alive with 2 strikes. Lane, in his most recent season at Harvard, played in 26 games, 23 of them starting, 93 at-bats, had 25 hits, 2 triples, and 4 doubles, 17 RBI. Triple take at second base. Fastball low in the zone. Swing and missing at strike 3 is Max Lane. And there's the second out of the inning. Second K of the inning as well for Wendt. So now Jariah Lewis with a runner at second base. And 2 gone here in the top of the 5th inning. Digs in. Lewis last time he was up, his last 2 plate appearances, he walked in the first, stole a bag. That was the first base runner of the game, and he struck out in the 3rd inning. Breaking ball, skipping in the dirt for ball 1 to Jariah Lewis. Lewis, a native of Alameda, California, and he enters his redshirt junior year at San Jose State. He initially signed with USC and was on the team in 2021, but didn't play, entered the transfer portal, and has since spent his time in San Jose, 3 seasons. 1-0, missing upstairs for ball 2. And the bulk of his playing time at San Jose State spent in his 22-23 campaign, where he had exactly 100 at-bats, 21 hits in that time, 17 runs batted in. This year, the ABs and the production regress slightly, but he's poised to make a comeback season at San Jose State as he takes a look at 3 straight balls from Wendt. Wendt comes set, looks at second, now comes home to Lewis, and the fastball's in there for a strike. First strike of the AB to Jariah Lewis, and a 3-1 count. 2 outs, a runner on second. SLO Blues lead 1-0 over the Santa Barbara Foresters in the CCL matchup. Foresters wearing their all-white unis, Blues wearing their road blue tops and the gray pants. Runner goes, Lewis swings, pops it up, foul. 3-2 count now to Jariah Lewis off another great jump from E.J. Royal at second base, wanted to take third with 2 outs. And typically that's not something you see unless there's a runner at first, and he's just going to go no matter what. You're going on the swing, you're going on the walk, there's 2 outs, you're going on contact. But there was no one behind E.J. Royal, he just took off anyway. Skipping in the dirt, and there's ball 4 to Jariah Lewis. E.J. Royal heads into third, and now there's runners at the corners for Cooper Witten.
Now batting, designated hitter Cooper Witten.
Witten, the San Diego kid, steps in now with runners at first and second. Good speed on both sides. And a chance to start to pull away from Santa Barbara. For Jariah Lewis, that was his second walk of the day. He's reached basically twice in 3 plate appearances. Cooper Witten, last time he was up, he walked. And before that, he popped out to short. 0 for 1 on the day. This one's chopped foul down the third base line. Witten, a UW Husky entering his junior season. Spent his first 2 up in Seattle. Throw to first, not in time to get Jariah Lewis. So a huge jump in playing time from his first season when he saw 10 at-bats. He saw 122 last year. And He's got the juice to flash at the next level. As this pitch taken for ball one. Hit a grand slam against UCLA. How about that? You can tell your grandkids about that one. But his first college home run was 111 miles per hour, hit 432 feet. One of his 5 home runs he hit for the Huskies this year. As that's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 away here, 2 runners on, and a 1-0 lead for the Blues. Cooper Witten up. Look over to first from Wendt. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice lead from Witten to spit on it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that grand slam he had against UCLA as well as 109 miles per hour off the bat. So some serious exit velocity from the right-handed hitting outfielder from San Diego. Here he is on the 2-2 count. Nodding is Wendt. Now coming home. Warm burner. Taken for ball 3. That'll fill it up. Looming on deck is Braden Mondew, who struck out and grounded into a fielder's choice today. Jittering, now coming home as Lewis takes off for second base. Here's a grounder to third. Klepson's got it. Throw over to first. Plenty of time to retire Cooper Witten, and the side is retired. Still a 1-0 ball game heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. SLO Blues are leading 1-0 over the Foresters. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network.
So after the bottom of the 5th here, we're going to try and have one of our
Bottom 5 here as the Santa Barbara Foresters get to action here as they trail by 1 run to the SLO Blues. And that's all there is, folks. Just 1 run from an RBI triple back in the 3rd inning from Max Lane that brought across E.J. Royal to give the Blues the lead. As first pitch swinging is T.J. Pompey. Comerford giving chase on it, but that's going to land on top of the batting cage for strike 1. 0-1 to T.J. Pompey, who doubled last time he was up, a leadoff double in the 3rd inning. The Texas Tech shortstop and Texas native. He was one of 4 perfect game top 100 signees in Texas Tech's 2023 class. 0-2 now to Pompey, the Coppell, Texas native. Had 11 doubles, 2 triples, and 10 homers in Big 12 action last year. Popped up again out of play. And with that 279 average, a beefy slugging at 516. On base of 389. 12 stolen bags as well for the Red Raiders. He's also the 82nd player in the nation and the #1 shortstop in the state of Texas in high school, as that curveball just misses downstairs for ball 1. He's also given a perfect 10 on Perfect Game when he was in high school. It's the highest grade you can get on the website. As the fastball misses outside, count now even now at 2-2 from John Damazonio, who heads out there for his 5th inning of work. Bends over and comes set. Here's the pitch. Skipping in the dirt and almost getting past Goff for ball 3. So after getting up 0-2 on TJ Pompey, there's 3 straight balls from John Damazonio. Payoff pitch, taken for strike 3. John Damazonio strikes out Pompey looking for the first out of the inning. And Damazonio's 6th strikeout of the day.
Number 15, Jacob Ellis.
So 1 out now for the number 8 hitter, Jacob Nose. As John Damazonio is feeling it right now, as he starts early on Nose with the first pitch fastball for a strike. Nose, a Ripon, California native from Modesto College. Checks his swing. Yes, he did for strike 2. So up again early is on 0-2 is John Damazonio. Bottom of the 5th here, 1-0 ball game. Blues lead the Santa Barbara Foresters. 1 out, 0-2 to Nose. Hit hard down the left side, but foul. I got to tell you, there's just something different about a ballpark that has good acoustics. Anytime you barrel up one, even if you don't even barrel it up that well, it sounds great. That time, that one was barreled up with his Marucci bat and teal blue grip. Curveball hit hard to the right side. That's through for a base hit. John Damazonio gives up his 3rd base hit of the day, and it comes off the bat of Jacob Nose with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Foot race coming up. Any kids want to take part should be down by the first base dugout.
That was hit hard. Was just talking about solid contact, and we saw it there on the foul ball. Almost alluded to it with that base hit from Nose just now. But now another base runner for Damazonio. Guy on first for Jackson Freeman. Fake break towards first was Nose, and fouling it straight back is Jackson Freeman for strike 1. Freeman's a native of Ladera Ranch, California, and in his first season as a Wildcat at Northwestern was awarded Big Ten All-Freshman Team. After his 11 home runs, 7 doubles, and 3 triples. Taking off for second is Nose. Here's the throw from Goff, and plenty of time to get Nose, who scorpioned into second base. A little slow to get up after scraping his arms and nose in the dirt. And a real nice throw from Parker Goff behind the plate for the 2nd out of the inning. So now 2 outs here, no one on for Jackson Freeman, the 9-hole hitter from Ladera Ranch. Pop straight up and foul out of play. Yeah, how about those slugging numbers with that 247 average of 495 slugging, 11 bombs, 7 dubs and 3 trips, and 46 hits. One issue, though, has been the strikeouts. He had 47 and 186 at-bats, but he did pair him with a decent amount of walks at 30 as he strikes out here looking. John Damazonio with buff swag walking into the dugout after retiring the side and getting the caught stealing from Parker Goff. We head into the top of the 6th, 1-0 Blues. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. 5-6-7 here in the top of the 6th for the San Luis Obispo Blues. It's Braden Mondew leading things off. He's 0 for 2 today with a fielder's choice and a strikeout swinging. I think now would be a good time to remind you that this inning is brought to you by Apex Technical Sales. You can find them at glenair-apex.com. Apex Technical Sales. We are here to make you successful. Mondew takes a look at ball 1 that skipped in the dirt in front of home plate and bounced behind the backstop and was able to land right in Taman's mitt. Nubbed right behind home plate for strike 1. A spinner as he sniffs the top of his bat. Might have burnt it. 1 ball and 1 strike to Braden Mondew. As from the windup is Went, and that fastball's in there for a strike. Loud pop from Went for strike 2. Mondew, the leadoff batter. Following him is Brendan Comerford on deck, and then it's Parker Goff. Swinging and missing, fouling it straight back, actually. Staying alive with 2 strikes is Braden Mondew. Parker Goff, the 3rd batter in this inning, who threw out Jacob Knowles for the 2nd out of the 5th. Here's the 1-2 to Mondew. Swings and rolls it to the left side. Klepsch got it. Throw over to first. Plenty of time to get Mondew. So Klepsch gets the ground ball and gets it over to Smaldino for the 1st out of the inning. So now it's Brendan Comerford. He's also 0 for 2 on the day. Pop out to first and a strikeout swinging. And in his last time facing Santa Barbara on Saturday, he was also 0 for 4. Chopper over to Klepsch again. Throw to first. Having to dig it is Smaldino in time to retire Comerford. 2 grounders to Klepsch at 3rd base, and there's 2 outs in this inning. So now it's Parker Goff, the catcher from BYU, who's 1 for 2 on the day. He got the base hit for the Blues and for both ball clubs, really. Was the 2nd base runner for San Luis Obispo after going 1 for 4 against the Santa Maria Indians in Game 1 with a walk, a strikeout, and reach on air. First pitch swinging and crushed through the middle. Base hit for Parker Goff, and he keeps it alive with 2 outs here in the 6th. Nice barrel from Parker Goff for his 2nd base hit of the day. And now a 2-out base runner for Sebastian Lopez, who's looking to make contact after striking out twice this game. From the stretch, here's Went, missing downstairs for ball 1. Lopez, a native of Henderson, Nevada. A Red Hawk from Seattle University. Played last summer with the Walla Walla Sweets in the West Coast League. Nice block there from Taman to keep Goff at first base for ball 2. And I have to address, too, I believe on the broadcast last time I said that the Walla Walla Sweets were from Oregon. That is completely incorrect. I need to get my knowledge up on my Pacific Northwest geography. As the fastball's in there for strike 1 on Lopez. The Sweets are named that way because of all the sweet onions that are grown in the area up there in Walla Walla, Washington. Very fun city to say. We played in 3 games for the Sweets, though, as he chops this one at home plate into the on-deck circle. Stays alive with 2 strikes. Just played in 3 games. He was 2 for 12. He had 2 walks and 2 strikeouts for the Sweets. And that was last summer. Now he's here with San Luis Obispo. Runner on first. 1-0 Blues lead with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3. There's the 3rd K of the day on Sebastian Lopez, and he strands Parker Goff at first base. 1-0 Blues heading into the bottom of the 6th. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. 1, 2, 3 for the Santa Barbara Foresters as John Damazonio's day is done. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. Didn't even throw that many pitches, but his day here is complete as Eddie Tierney, the two-way from Reno, Nevada, fills in his spot. Sidewinder comes home for strike 1 against Drew Markle. Markle 0 for 2 on the day, grounder to second and a grounder to short. Digs in now for his third AB, this time against Tierney, as that one slides just below the zone for ball 1. Tierney last season, his first year with the Nevada Wolfpack, a 3.18 ERA and 16 2/3 innings pitch, as he skips that one across the dirt for ball 2. In those 16 2/3, he did have 20 strikeouts, 17 earned runs, and a .262 batting average against. Check swings, fouled straight back to Drew Markle. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder, hitting leadoff for Santa Barbara. Markle spent his first season at Ole Miss this past year. Limited action and only 17 games played and 10 at-bats. And he looks at the fastball inside, fills up the count at 3-2. 1 hit in those 10 ABs, but he was the number 4 ranked shortstop in Texas out of high school. Grounded, nice grab from Tierney over on the mound, flip over to first to Comerford in time to retire Markle for the first out of the inning. Hot shot comebacker right to Eddie Tierney, and he made the looping throw over to Brendan Comerford. Almost a bang-bang play from the nice speed from Drew Markle out of the batter's box, but it's the first out of the inning, and now the number 2 batter in D. Kennedy. Kennedy looks at the fastball missing downstairs for ball 1. The second baseman batting second for Santa Barbara from Texas, Fort Worth native, who played in 52 games for the Longhorns this past season, as ball 2 misses over the glove of Parker Goff. 4 homers, 5 doubles, and a triple. 351 slugging and a 209 batting average. Only 2 stolen bases for a guy who runs a 6.3 60. Yeah, that's right, a 6.3 60. Unworldly speed for the Texas infielder. 3-0 is swinging and pops straight up down the left field line, but foul. Clearly that's a pitch that D. Kennedy was a big fan of, but he just got underneath it as Max Lane was given some solid chase on it, but it lands in the trees out of play in left field. Here's the 3-1 to him now from Tierney. Comes across his body, and this one sent into right field, hit hard, but enough room for Jariah Lewis to take a few steps to his left and squeeze it for the second out of the inning.
Now batting third baseman.
So now it's the 3-hole Addison Klesch. He's 0 for 2 on the day. A victim of the nice play from Brendan Comerford back in the first inning, a diving grab at first, and then a flip over to Damazonio for the first out of the inning. And then was a victim of one of the 7 strikeouts Damazonio had today. As he takes a look at strike 1 here with 2 gone, trailing by 1 to San Luis Obispo. Fastball in there for strike 2. Tierney loses the ball on the throwback from Parker Goff, smiling from ear to ear as he quickly gets back set on the mound. Here he is from the windup. Breaking ball just missing downstairs for ball 1. Tierney nods, comes home. Fouled right at home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Addison Klesch rocking the Trotsky helmet, the red, white, and blue scriptured font on the front with the ocean mint cleats. 2-2, and that hit him. 2 out base runner for the Santa Barbara Foresters after Eddie Tierney got in a 2-2 count and hit Addison Klepsch with the pitch. So a 2-out base runner here for Dominic Smaldino, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Got a base hit in the 4th inning, and he grounded to short in the 2nd. With a sizable lead at first base is Klepsch. And the throw to first is not in time to pick him off. Smaldino, a Berkeley Golden Bear from San Juan Capistrano, California. Check swing rolling down the first base line, and Comerford will field it in fair territory for the 3rd out of the inning. Softly hit grounder on the half swing from Damazonio, and that will retire the side. Heading into the top of the 7th, 1-0 Blues. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. New noodle for Santa Barbara as we enter the top of the 7th inning. Wentz day is done, and now it's Diego Ramos, the right-handed pitcher from Arkansas and Vian, Oklahoma native, entering his sophomore season with the Razorbacks. He'll face 9-1-2 for San Luis Obispo as the SLO Blues lead 1-0 over the Foresters in their 2nd game of CCL play. Sam Ardois shows bunt and leaves it for strike 1. Ardois today is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a grounder to short. The newly acquitted Oregon Duck as of this morning. Hit hard on the right side. That's going to land for a base hit. Ranging to his left is Freeman, and now coming towards second base is Ardois, and he'll slide in with the double. Nice base running there from Sam Ardois after reading the misplacement by Freeman in right field. And all of a sudden, a runner in scoring position to lead things off for the Blues. That's Ardois' first base hit of the day off a loud hit double down the right field line. Now we'll flip it to the top of the order in E.J. Royal, a guy who's already got 2 knocks. Infield base hit in the 5th, 2 stolen bags, a single in the 3rd. Came around to score the only run this contest has seen, and a strikeout in the 1st. First pitch, he swings, sends it to center field. Coming in on it is Markle. He'll have it with no problem. Throw over to Pompey for the 1st out of the inning. Fly ball to center, and that's the 1st out of the top of the 7th for the Foresters, as it's now Max Lane digging in for San Luis Obispo. Max Lane, the left fielder for the Blues, is 1 for 3 on the day. Had that RBI triple in the 3rd, struck out swinging, and flew out to center. Ramos comes home and sneaks the fastball in there for a strike. Ramos, like Eddie Tierney for San Luis Obispo, a sidewinder. Although the difference between the two is that Ramos can certainly pump some ched into the zone. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. And when he pumps the ched, he can also come at you with the breaking stuff as well. And we saw that just now to Max Lane as he's now 0-2 to the Razorback. Runner on second. One out here. As a nice leave from Lane as that skips in the dirt for ball 1. Lane, the Harvard outfielder, entering his junior year with the Crimson. 25 hits last season, 17 RBI. Wants to get an RBI here for San Luis Obispo. Grab some insurance as the fastball misses away. Count now even at 2-2 to Max Lane. More on Ramos. He was ranked by Perfect Game as the 230th overall prospect and the 69th right-handed pitcher in the country in the class of 23, his senior year in V in Oklahoma. He was also rated the #1 overall prospect and #1 overall right-handed pitcher in Oklahoma by Perfect Game that same year. The black and red glove rests in front of his chest as he comes home, and the fastball just missing outside for ball 3. Had a little extra mustard on that one as Ryan Taman couldn't corral that in there for the frame. It's now 3-2 to Max Lane. Runner on second for Lane as Ramos comes home, and that off speed is swung on and missed for strike 3. Wicked slider from Diego Ramos, and there's the second out of the inning. So Jariah Lewis, who's 0 for 1 on the day, but he's got 2 walks and a stolen base. He walked last time he was up in the 5th, and now he steps in with 2 away and a runner in scoring position, and Sam Ardois. Ardois reached off a leadoff double that was hit down the right field line. It was misplayed by Freeman, gave Ardois an opportunity to swipe second as he almost swiped third there as Taman clanked that fastball from Ramos. Meeting at the mound between Taman and Ramos, trying to go over the game plan. I'm sure it's lots of conversations have to be had when you have a fastball that cuts that much, and you have a slider as well, and you want to make sure which one you're going to be getting. If you're Ryan Taman, would definitely not want to get crossed up by that heater from Diego Ramos. As Jariah Lewis is down 0-1 in the count. Here's the second pitch, low and away for ball 1. Jariah, 21 total bases last year with the Spartans, 3 doubles and a home run, and 4 RBIs. That's all in 78 at-bats. Swings and misses at that changeup for strike 2. Waiting on deck, it's Cooper Witten, the DH from University of Washington. But now it's Jariah Lewis having to battle with 2. With 2 outs here and a runner on second. Ramos picks over to second, and it's not in time to get E.J. Royal. After taking one look over at Kennedy at second base, he decided to pick off, but E.J. Royal was there in plenty of time. Lewis with a wide stance, rocking the royal blue gear from San Jose State, as the fastball misses upstairs to even the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ramos stares down his catcher, Taman. Now he comes set from the belt, raises it up to his chest, kicks and fires. Lewis sends this one in the air, and that will be out of play. He'll stay alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lewis doing a nice job of spoiling that fastball out in the zone. Didn't like that pitch that much. He was able to throw his barrel out there and just flare it up out of play. As he takes a deep breath here, and settles into the box on this 2-2 count to Diego Ramos, the Oklahoma native and Arkansas Razorback. A sigh from Ramos, and now a delivery, and he misses outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And once again, I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but the Blues have done a great job of working some at-bats and leaving pitches out in the zone in 2-strike counts. And it's paying off for Jariah Lewis so far. At the count's full to him against Ramos as the fastball sneaks by him for strike 3. So Sam Arjois gets stranded at second base as Jariah Lewis goes down swinging. 1-0 Blues as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network.
So on your feet, middle of the 7th inning stretch.
Bottom 7 here, and it's 5-6-7 for the Santa Barbara Foresters as they trail 1-0 to the San Luis Obispo Blues. And Eddie Tierney heads back out there for his second inning of work over the Sturs. It's Will Rogers, the DH from Michigan, leading things off for Santa Barbara. Sidewinder delivers, and Rogers fouls it straight back into the screen for strike 1. Rogers is a long ways from home, folks. A native of Minnesota, making the trip out to Santa Barbara for the second summer as that slider frisbees in there for strikes 2 and gets a big swing and a miss from Rogers. Rogers has returned to the Midwest after spending 2 seasons at Arizona State with the Sun Devils. As he holds up his swing on the fastball upstairs, they appeal. No, he did not. Will, last season with the Wolverines, was 40 of 156. 8 bombs, a triple, and 6 doubles. From the windup, here's Tierney. Fastball just missing downstairs for ball 1 against Will Rogers. 3 stolen bases for the catcher from Shoreview, Minnesota last year in his first season with Michigan. As he fouls this one up at his face. Staying alive with 2 strikes here is Will Rogers. Foresters looking for their first leadoff base runner since the 3rd inning. We've now entered the 7th here at Eddie Matthews Field. Swings and fouls this one back into the screen. Spoiling away the offerings from Eddie Tierney with that funky sidewinded delivery. Rogers, as a Wolverine last year, had 28 strikeouts, 18 walks, and those 156 at-bats. And there's another foul ball from Rogers here, being tough with 2. About to be an 8-pitch at-bat here to Will Rogers. He's qualified for the quab here against Eddie Tierney. Here's the 1-2 offering again. Sends this one to left field off the end of the bat, but moving in on it is Max Lane, who squeezes it for the first out of the inning. Goes down as a quality at bat in his own personal journal, but goes down as an F7 in the scorebook for Will Rogers. And looks like a pinch hitter here for Ryan Taman after striking out twice in this ball game and going 0 for 2. It's Johnny Rodriguez, left-handed hitting first baseman from Long Beach State and native of Fullerton, California. Just spent his first year with the Dirtbags this past season out there at Blair Diamond as that fastball misses outside for ball 1. Two balls and no strikes to Johnny Rodriguez. Chopper to the right side, and Ardois can't get there in time. Johnny Rodriguez rolls off the bench and pokes through a base hit through the 4-hole for a 1-out base runner for the Santa Barbara Foresters. So it's TJ Pompey who's looking for his second base hit of the afternoon. He's 1 for 2 with a double in the 3rd inning. He struck out looking back in the 5th. One of Damazonio's 7 strikeout victims, as Rodriguez gets a sizable lead over there at first base. And taking strike 1 is Pompey. The Red Raider takes a look at ball 1, and Goff wanted to go to the snapback, but getting back in time was Rodriguez. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pompey, a perfect game All-American Classic participant and PG National Showcase participant, as ball 2 skips in the dirt in front of Parker Goff. It's also a 2-time PG preseason underclassman All-American. Accolades just piled up for him in his time in high school in Coppell, Texas. This one's sent into center field. It's going to fall in front of E.J. Royal for a base hit. Rounding second base and holding up there is Johnny Rodriguez. Back-to-back hits for the Foresters. Runners on first and second after Johnny Rodriguez had a base hit, and then TJ Pompey strung one together as well. 1 out here. Jacob Knowles, the left fielder, in the 8th spot. Tierney with 2 runners on takes a look at second, now comes home, and the fastball is in there for strike 1. Might have gotten crossed up on that one is Parker Goff as he hits the reset button with Tierney up on the mound. Jacob Knowles, his second at-bat of the day, 3rd plate appearance. He walked his first time up in the 3rd inning, was stranded at first, and then in the 5th, reached on a base hit, but then was caught stealing off a real nice toss from Parker Goff behind home plate. Tierney missing downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jacob Knowles, the Modesto College Pirate. Rising sophomore from Ripon, California, was originally committed to play at Masters University. Tierney kicks and fires. That fastball's in there for strike 2. Strikeout, ground out here for Eddie Tierney. Either would help, as he's up 1-2 against Jacob Knowles. Double take at second base, now comes home. Fastball is rolled to Comerford at first, and it actually sounded like it went off the front foot of Knowles. Didn't see an initial reaction after it rolled off of his toes, but the umpires called foul. And that slow roller to Brendan Comerford would have been an easy DP for the Blues. They would have gotten out of this jam with runners on first and second, 1 out here. So we'll do it again at 1-2. Here's Tierney, hit hard to the left side. Mondu's got it at short, flip over to second. Ardois to first in time. Eddie Tierney gets out of the jam and will flip into the top of the 8th inning. SLO Blues maintain their 1-0 lead after the DP from San Luis Obispo. 1-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
All around the United States to come here to Santa Barbara to play with us. You're enjoying watching them here, but we need your help.
Top of the 8th inning here, Cooper Witten leading things off for San Luis Obispo as they still lead 1-0 over the Santa Barbara Foresters down here in Santa Barbara. I think now would be a good time to remind you that this inning is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects. You can find them at sdgarchitects.com. Studio Design Group Architects. For 40 years, they've designed buildings with one thing in mind: people. This one's hit hard down the left field line, and that's fair, a base hit for Cooper Witten. Big turn over there at first base, and a leadoff single for the DH from UW. Solid contact, and could potentially be the first domino that San Luis Obispo needs to regain some insurance run and make this ball game a little less tight for the Blues. So it's Braden Mondew. He's 0 for 3 on the day, struck out swinging. Fielder's choice, and then a grounder to third. Looking for his first base knock of the day. Last time he played against the Foresters, he was 2 for 4 with a double, a single, and a reach on air. Diego Ramos heading back out there, and the sidewinder comes home and misses downstairs for ball 2. Two 2-0 to Braden Mondew, the shortstop in the transfer portal after redshirting his first season as a Cougar at BYU. Witten at first base. Pretty decent lead, as that one's taken for ball 3 to Mondew. New stick for Mondew as well, rocking the burnt orange bat with the bright orange grip tape. Fastball missing upstairs, 4 straight balls to Braden Mondew. Back-to-back base runners for the Blues.
First baseman number 10, Brendan.
So now it's Brendan Comerford. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Pop out to first, strikeout swinging, and a grounder to third for the first baseman from Ohlone College. As here's a mound visit for Diego Ramos. They'll go over the game plan with Comerford in this tight ball game. 1-0 lead for the Blues. Runner on first base in Mondew. There's a decent amount of speed over there on first. Trying to figure out what the next move is here for the Foresters defensively.
Friday the 14th, 4:30. Saturday the 15th at 4:30.
As Brendan Comerford has the ability to break this game open with his power. We've seen it at Sinsheimer, a ballpark that's very difficult to hit out of. And his teammates kid with him that he's got that warning track power because he can't seem to put it out, but he gets awfully close. A wall banger, as they say. Hits the warning track, and we've seen that a few times with his extra base hits, and we can see that here statistically in his time at Ohlone College. That's .658 slugging, those 12 homers and just as many doubles his first season at Ohlone. And he actually shows bunt here as the corners crash, and he slashes it. It's a grounder over to Smaldino at first, to second, now back to first in time for the double play. Huge 2 outs for the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Nice play.
And it looks like it was actually Rodriguez who came in to pinch hit last inning, replacing Smaldino at first base, making the nice reactive play at first. The slash bunt from Brendan Comerford that resulted in a double play. So advancing to third base on that is Cooper Witten, and it's now Parker Goff, who's 2 for 3 on the day. If you were to pick a guy today to bring this run in, it would be this man. Fouls this one straight back for strike 1. Goff is 2 for 3 on the day. 2 singles. He was stranded at first base both times. Those sandwich a strikeout in the 4th inning. And Goff did some damage in his years at BYU as well, as he fouls this one out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to the Utah native from Harriman. Here's his numbers from Utah these past 2 years. 14 doubles, 3 triples, and 5 homers. 38 runs batted in and 60 hits for the Cougars. The third-ranked catcher in Utah out of high school looks at that fastball that sails way over his head for ball 1. Real big DP off the bat from Brandon Comerford, who slashed as Rodriguez was coming in from first. Hot shot right to him, went to second to Pompey and back over to the pitcher Ramos at first to get the double play. This one's hit hard to right field. Moving back on it is Freeman, and that's going to get over his head. Coming in to score is Cooper Witten, and rounding second is Goff. Heading into third, here comes the slide, and the throw is in time. Freeman the throw to Kennedy on the relay. Retired Parker Goff in time, but the run did come home from Cooper Witten. Nice hit double from Parker Goff. It's 2-0 Blues heading into the bottom of the 8th inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. (9-1-2) for the Santa Barbara Foresters after the Blues tacked on an extra insurance run from the smoking hot bat of Parker Goff. An RBI double that was burnt over Freeman's head, but Goff was thrown out at third base off the nice relay of the tandem of Freeman and Kennedy. Cooper Witten came around to score on that. It's now SLO Blues lead 2-0. Leading things off is Jackson Freeman, the Wildcat from Northwestern. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Foresters coming down to their last 6 outs as they trail by 2 to the Blues. Here's Tierney. Fastball in there for strike 3. Jackson Freeman goes down looking for the first out of the inning. And the first K from Eddie Tierney. A huge sigh and a look up into the gray sky here at Santa Barbara as Jackson Freeman goes down for the first out of the inning. So now it's the leadoff batter, Drew Markle. He's hitless in today's ball game after grounding to second, grounding to short, and grounding back to the pitcher as he gets a long looping swing off the slider for strike 1. Center fielder for Santa Barbara was 1 for 2 last time he faced the Blues as he looks at that skipper in the dirt for ball 1. He just finished up his first season at Ole Miss after growing up in Katy, Texas. Spent the year with the Rebels and was ranked the 4th shortstop in the state out of high school. This one's popped straight up in the air. Calling everyone off is Comerford, and he will have it with no problem for the second out of the inning. SLO Blues pitching and defense has silenced this crowd here at Eddie Matthews Field as both are on point today. And that's been what has been lacking for them so far this season, really the defense. There's been some defensive plays that should have been made and have been made, and really just the tandem of Damazonio and Tierney has been working for San Luis Obispo today. So a new hitter, a pinch hitter in for D. Kennedy. It's Jack Bollinger, as this one skips in the dirt for ball one. Bollinger spent his first season last year at Westmont College after spending his first as a Sac State Hornet and then at Cabrillo College as a Seahawk the year prior to that. Entering his senior year with the Warriors as a native from Santa Cruz, as he heads back in the dugout to grab another bat. While he was at Sacramento State, he was all WAC tournament team as a freshman. And he chops this one right in front of home plate. One and one to the outfielder who is pinch hitting for D. Kennedy in the 2 spot. Here's Tierney. Fastball just missing outside with a loud pop for ball 2. In his most recent season of college baseball at Westmont, Bollinger a .311 average and 164 at-bats with 21 RBIs on 51 hits. Fastball clips the outside corner for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. SLO Blues leading by 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning to the pinch hitter in Jack Bollinger. Tierney from the windup, slowly kicking and firing, and the fastball is in there for strike 3. The side is retired after Tierney picks up his first 2 strikeouts of the day, one on Freeman and one to end the inning on Bollinger. We'll head to the top of the 9th inning, 2-0 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. I am Nate Mills.
Energy on the way home. He'll be out there to make you some.
Couple of new additions to the ballgame here for the Santa Barbara Foresters in the top of the 9th inning. New catcher behind the dish, it's Nick Sanders, and Jack Bellinger comes in for D. Kennedy after pinch hitting for him this past inning. So Bollinger at second, and Sanders behind the dish. And a new noodle for the Foresters as well. It's Jake Fields, another right-hander. This kid is from Long Beach State. After growing up in El Dorado Hills, California, he'll enter his redshirt sophomore season after redshirting his first season with Long Beach State. Sebastian Lopez's first pitch swinging and pops this one into shallow center, but tracking it for the first out of the inning is Bollinger, who just came into second base. So one pitch, one out here for Jake Fields, who just entered the game. And a 2-0 lead for San Luis Obispo. Sam Ardwa, who doubled his last time up, is his first hit of the game. Nice piece of hitting. Looking to replicate that here. As he looks at the fastball for strike one. Ardwa 1 for 3 on the day, grounded to short in his first AB, struck out swinging, and then the aforementioned double in the 7th. Ardwa sends this one up and out of play for strike 2 against Fields. Fields was a two-way player, but turned into a PO in his junior season in high school, where he struck out 75 batters in 41 innings pitched with a 2.39 ERA. As that one almost hits Ardwa, he has to duck out of the way of it for ball one. He earned first-team All-League and All-Metro honors with those statistics. Also selected first-team All-League, All-Metro, and All-NorCal as a senior. In that year, 51 2/3 innings pitched and a 1.35 ERA. As that fastball gets by him for strike 3. So there's the first K of the day for Jake Fields. And there's 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Second strikeout of the day for Sam Ardwa. And we'll flip it to the top of the order in E.J. Royal. He's 2 for 4 on the day. 2 stolen bags, a run scored, and a strikeout. Last time he was up, though, a fly ball to center field. That was well struck, but obviously not hard enough. He looks at the fastball from Fields for strike 1. Tight ball game here, 2-0 lead for San Luis Obispo, as the bender is in there for strike 2. Fields doing a great job attacking the hitters so far in his time out here, getting up on 2 strikes on everyone he's seen, except for Lopez. Fields from the windup, pumps his right foot, now comes home, and he gets Royal to chase upstairs with the fastball for strike 3. 2 Ks for Jake Fields as we'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning. The last chance for the Foresters to come back in this ball game. The Blues lead this one 2-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network. Last chance here for the Santa Barbara Foresters as they trail the SLO Blues 2-0. And Eddie Tierney heads back out there for his 4th inning of work to try to mix up these stirs. Fastball blown right by Addison Klepsch for strike 1. Klepsch is 0 for 2 on the day with a hit by pitch. Back in the 6th inning, he was stranded at first. There's ball 1 from Eddie Tierney. Now 1-1 to the third baseman. Third baseman committed to Auburn next season and a San Diego native as he half swings one's foul down the right side. 1-2 to Addison Klepsch. Klepsch gets lower in his stance this time, bending his knees and choking up on his bat with 2 strikes. Here comes Tierney on him. Missing low and shuffling in the box is Klepsch for ball one. Got an arm getting loose for the Santa Barbara Foresters down in the bullpen. Big right-hander. As Klepsch skies this one in the right field, Lewis takes a few steps to his left and grabs that one for the first out of the inning. There's the first out of the ninth, and the Blues are 2 away after the pinch hitter and Nick Sanders comes in. He's replacing Dominic Smaldino, but instead of playing first, he's behind the dish. This guy's swagged out, folks. He's got the pink cleats on. He's got the perfect game helmet on with multicolors. It's black and white. Royal blue arm sleeve and oven mitt and batting gloves. Kid's got it all. But Eddie Tierney snuck strike one right by him on the fastball. Now he's up 0-1. Goes off speed here and just misses down low for ball one. Tierney with a deep side hitting reset. Digs into his mitt from the windup. Agrees with Goff behind home plate. Now comes home and misses downstairs on the fastball. 2-1 now to Johnny Rodriguez, catcher from Long Beach State. Swing and a miss for strike two. Blew the fastball by him, and a big smile from Rodriguez as he walks across the other side of the batter's box. 2-2 to Rodriguez. Here it comes from Tierney. This one's hit hard and through for a base hit in the left center gap. E.J. Royal is going to have to play this one off the wall as Johnny Rodriguez has extra bases with one out in the bottom of the ninth inning. He stirs it up at second base as Will Rogers steps up now and looks to pass the baton over to him.
Sponsored by Doug Scott of the Allison Company. Let's stir it up for the designated hitter number 7, Will Rogers.
Rogers is 0 for 3 on the day. He struck out swinging, flew out to right, and then flew out to left. And this is his second time facing Eddie Tierney. First time he faced Tierney, it was that fly out to left field. Tierney comes home, and Rogers holds up for strike one. One out double from Johnny Rodriguez in the left center gap. Absolutely smoked. Burnt the angle of E.J. Royal. He had to play it off a hop on the wall. Tierney comes home. This one served out to center. Royal can't get there. It's going to drop right in front of him. Rodriguez is going to hold up at third base. Back-to-back hits for the Foresters, and now there's runners at the corners, and the winning run steps up to the plate.
Sponsored by Mayor Randy Rouse. Let's stir it up for the first baseman, number 33, Johnny Rodriguez.
And a check on the extra base hit. Hit two batters ago. That was actually Nick Sanders. Now batting for the Foresters, it's Johnny Rodriguez. As a mound visit, and Dean Trainer gingerly walks up to the hill where he will meet the rest of his infield. So everyone keeping track at home on the scorebook. It's Nick Sanders at third base with Johnny Rodriguez now stepping up to the plate. And Rodriguez, he came in to pinch hit for Ryan Taman and replace him in the game after Taman went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Rodriguez, the first at-bat, first pitch he saw coming off the bench was a single. Back in the 7th inning, he was eventually stranded at second base off a 6-4-3 double play from Jacob Nose. But now he's here with one out and runners at the corners. Hard hit ball to the right side. Play at second from Ardwog over to first. In time! SLO Blues hold off the Santa Barbara Foresters as this ball game ends on a 4-6-3 double play. Sam Ardwog, Braden Mondu, and Brendan Comerford put a bow on this one, and the Blues win their first CCL game 2-0 over the Santa Barbara Foresters. what a game for San Luis Obispo. What really showed out today for them was their pitching. I mean, you just can't deny the performances that John Damazonio and Eddie Tierney put on for SLO. And the offense wasn't quite as alive as you could have asked for, but, you know, Santa Barbara has some good arms of their own. They ran through 4 right-handers at San Luis Obispo, and the Blues handled it decently well. I mean, they were able to scratch across 2 runs. They had some loud pops of contact. Parker Goff had a real nice day. I'd like to dub him the player of the game after his 3-for-4 effort in that RBI double in the 8th inning to just kind of tack on an extra insurance run for the Blues. But this one's got to feel good for San Luis Obispo. This is a team you lost to 2-0 at Sinsheimer, and you're able to flip around and do it to these guys in their own crib. So the SLO Blues are going to make the bus trip down to Compton, California tomorrow to play the MLB Youth Academy Barons. Happy bus ride for the Blues as we sign off here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. I'm Nate Mills. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this broadcast.